With the Dreamcast gone, Sega was reduced from being a console manufacturer to being a third-party developer.
This situation caused Sega to put their games on Nintendo systems, and Sonic finally graced the same systems as his arch-rival.
The battle between Sonic and Mario had finally ended. However, fans still hold grudges even to this day. Sonic Advance 2001.
Sonic went to the Game Boy Advance with a portable adventure developed by a team known as Dips. It featured 4 playable characters and was received well, being labeled as one of the best games for the GBA.
It was also released for the N-Gage, and was slower, and cut out the Chow Garden.
No wonder the system flopped like Magic Carp.
In 2002, Sonic began making tons of mobile games that you probably haven't heard of, like Sonic Golf, Sonic Billboards, Billiards, and Fishing! Fishing?
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle 2002. As well as jumping to Nintendo's handheld, Sonic also went to the GameCube with an enhanced port of Sonic Adventure 2. The game was mostly the same, except for a more fleshed out Chow Garden and deeper multiplayer options.
Sonic Mega Collection 2002. Sega released another collection which included the original Mega Drive titles, and tons of bonuses such as artwork and trailers. It also had Rystar, a game that so deserves a sequel. Sonic Advance 2 2002.
Already? Sonic made his second game for the GBA, and this one was twice as fast and twice as long. It also introduced cream, cheese, and vanilla to the family tree. And excuse me while I get myself a vanilla ice cream cheese sandwich.
Sonic X 2003. Sonic got the anime treatment with his 4th cartoon show. It was slightly based off the games and followed Sonic's adventures in a world populated by annoying humans. It was aired overseas and redubbed by 4Kids Entertainment, who turned the show into 20 minutes of cringe-inducing, face-palming entertainment. I hate this show mostly for one reason. Sonic Adventure DX.
I got myself
Director's Cut.
Sandwiches, so I got some biscuits.
2003.
To re-release the sequel, you might as well re-release the first one. Sonic Adventure was ported to the GameCube with enhanced graphics, a mission mode, 12 Game Gear games, and a playable Metal Sonic. The game was criticized for being dated and no longer being fun, but fans loved it. Of course they would.
Sonic Pinball Party 2003. Sonic loves his pinball machines, and it turns out, so do Knights and Sama Demigo.
This was a pinball game that Honest Reviewer hates because he says it's too hard. Remember, this is the guy who got stuck 26 times on Tomb Raider.
Hi. Sonic Battle 2003. Sonic returned to the fighting genre with Sonic Battle, an underappreciated but deeply engaging fighting game that many gamers overlooked.
It only featured 10 playable characters, which is a shame, as I would have loved to play Wes Weasley.
Sonic Heroes 2003. After a couple of years which involved ports and Yuji Naka playing with eggs, Sonic Team finally produced an all-new Sonic game. It featured 4 playable teams made up of 3 characters, including new face Omega. Upon release, the game received mixed to positive reviews, with most criticism aimed at its camera controls. Once again, the voice acting was described as horrendous, but to fans, everyone sounds like Morgan Freeman.
Godly. Sonic Advance 3, 2004. The third and sadly final GBA title arrived. It took elements from Sonic Heroes, such as the ability to have a partner. The game amplified everything you love about Sonic, but also included new things such as 2-player co-op, a first for Sonic.
The game was well received and even won a Golden Joystick Award.
Congratulations.
Sega Superstars 2004.
Back in 2004, the iToy craze was in full swing, and Sega decided to jump on the bandwagon and released Sega Superstars. It included a bunch of mini-games, and was the last time Ryan Drummond voiced Sonic.
Drummond.
Sonic Mega Collection Plus 2005. The Mega Collection got ported to the PS2 and Xbox, and it was almost the same, just with some added content. Sonic Gems Collection 2005.
Sega released a new collection in the same year with Gems Collection, where greasy gamers got their grubby palms on Sonic CD, Sonic the Fighters, Sonic R, and a bunch of Game Gear titles. The game was criticized for including only one really good game, which was Sonic CD. Fans were upset too, as they wanted Sega Sonic Arcade and Knuckles Chaotic as well.
After this, Sega decided to replace the original voice cast with those from Sonic X. This started a fan war between the voiceovers.
However, I would rather call it a fruitless argumentation.
Sonic Rush, 2005. Sonic jumped on Nintendo's two-screen wonder with this lightning-fast 2D adventure.
It introduced Blaze the Cat and fan favorite, Eggman Nougat.
Sorry, that should have been the other way around. It was well received and considered one of the best DS titles. The only problem was the soundtrack. That sucked.
Shadow the Hedgehog, 2005. Now, Sonic was getting pretty bumpy before this, but Shadow the Hedgehog was the game that Sonic started losing his soul. The game followed Amnesiac Shadow as he attempted to find out who he was.
It tried too hard to be dark and gritty, and the whole thing was just a depressing mess. We forgot to mention Shadow walked around with a gun. That's like Luigi walking around with a bazooka.
In the end, it was just crap, and many fans liked it because Shadow is cool, and he says, damn.
Yeah.
Sonic Riders 2006. The fastest thing alive now rode a hoverboard and raced a bunch of cocky birds named Jet, Storm, and Wave in Sonic's fourth racing game.
This game didn't feel like a Sonic game at all, as the environments felt like they were ripped from F-Zero, once again highlighting Sonic's losing soul.
It got mixed and negative reviews, but the fans liked it, as expected.
Sonic the Hedgehog, 2006. Here we are, Sonic's big next-generation adventure that was hyped as Sonic's comeback. He even shared the same title as the game that spawned him. Sadly, a myriad of problems ranging from an awkward story, clunky controls, and numerous glitches held this back from greatness.
Still, we're tired of going on about why this game's so bad. So instead, we'll focus on the good aspects. Some of the music wasn't bad, and the silver levels were alright, and, looks like that's about it.
Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis, 2006. The original classic was re-released to celebrate 15 years of Sonic. Sadly, it was a crummy port and did nothing to brighten Sonic's fading image.
Sonic Rivals 2006. Sonic dashed to the PSP hoping to get some success. Sadly, he didn't find it, as the game was mostly a barren experience that featured a plot so silly, it makes Pluto Nash seem Oscar-worthy.
Sonic and the Secret Rings, 2007. Struggling to come up with a decent plot, Sega decided to copy and paste Sonic characters into storybooks, the first of which was the Arabian Nights.
It was an on-rails platformer that saw Sonic travel through a variety of locations, including dinosaurs. While the soundtrack was decent, it was mostly an uninspired game that lacked the necessary polish to make it stand out.
Sonic Rush Adventure, 2007. For all this garbage Sega was producing, Sonic Rush was the only one that stood out of it all. So of course the obvious thing to do was to make a sequel, and bambo! Sonic Rush Adventure was born.
It was similar to its predecessor, but included boat riding sections and more emphasis on the story. It brought a new face into the already overpopulated cast, with Maureen the Raccoon. It received good reviews, but the soundtrack was catapulted.